Good morning again, everybody. So today we're talking about tariffs. Not the earthly tariffs. As a church, we look to the things that are spiritual. What are the spiritual tariffs that we pay? What are the spiritual wars that we fight? There are lots of things that are going on in the world, lots of things that upset us, that upset others. What price are we paying because of what is happening out there? What is it costing you? What is it costing you, all the upset that's out there? Is it costing you your peace of mind? Is it costing you some sleepless nights? Is it costing you some relationships? Is it costing you a friendship? Is it costing you an argument online? The world might be in a place of upset, but that upset also then seems to invade our own lives, and from that, it costs us something. And it ends up leaving us feeling helpless. Well, how am I supposed to solve the problem of tariffs in the world? How am I supposed to help with the war in Ukraine? How am I supposed to help with the leadership struggle in Canada? How do I do anything? And we feel powerless. Powerless. What can I do with all the struggle that's going on out there? But the reality is we're not powerless. We're not powerless if we believe what the Lord teaches. We're not powerless if, on this journey of becoming angels, we learn to do as the angels. If we follow the Lord and if we're willing to be as angels, we find that we have power from the Lord. Can we change the economics that's going on at the moment? No. Can we stop the war in Ukraine? No. That's not the kind of power that the Lord is offering to us. So what is the Lord offering to us? What is the power that we have? Well, we first have to understand more about ourselves and how we work or how we don't work, depending on how we want to look at this problem. So here I have some pictures. Pictures that are dual pictures. You've probably seen these before. And I'm going to hold them up and I'm going to ask you, what is the first thing that you see? And there's multiple answers to that. What is it that you see? So let's go through them and let's see what you see. I'm going to hold them up for a few seconds and move them on. So if you don't see it all the first time, I'll come back and let you see. Oh, upside down. That does not help. All righty. What do you see? What do you see? Do you see two trees coming together and touching branches? Or do you see the woman with the hair, with her back to us? Can you see that? I'm looking at it upside down. Here's the side of her face, her ear, and this is her hair and her shoulders. Right? What did you see first? Did you see the trees? Anybody see the lady first? Right. Maybe someone saw the lady first. Great. Next one. What do you see? Do you see two old people facing each other? Or do you see someone sitting on the floor playing a guitar and someone next to them? Or do you see the gold goblet that's in the middle? What do you see? All right. Here's another one. What do you see? Do you see an image of an old man? Or do you see a man riding a horse underneath a bridge? Okay. What do you see? Right. I'll bring these pictures out to tea if people want to take a closer look at them. But the idea behind that experiment is you will see what your mind allows you to see. And with every mind being different, some people will see one thing first, another one person might see something else first. But what you see is what your mind allows you to see. That's an important idea. You see what you want to see. Think about the world around us. We see in the world what we want to see, what our minds allow us to see. That's an important idea. Now, if any of you have read the book Heaven and Hell by Emanuel Swedenborg, then you're familiar with the idea that angels in heaven see beautiful things around them. They might see trees or animals, birds, flowers, valleys, mountains, you name it, beautiful, beautiful imagery all around them. And we know from what Swedenborg wrote that what the angels are seeing is a reflection of their own state of life. They are seeing themselves in the images around them. And as their state of life shifts and changes, so the imagery around them shifts and changes, because that imagery is a reflection of the state of their minds and their hearts. So here we have this example that is given to us, that the angels see exactly who they are in the things around them, and the things around them will change. We will look at the world around us, and even though it is fixed and doesn't change the same as it does in heaven, we will still see what we want to see in the world. And we will react according to what our mind allows us to see. Another example or way of illustrating this is I have a glass of water. Now, if I'm walking down the aisle here with this glass of water, and as I'm walking along, Ken puts out his foot and trips me, and I stumble and I spill my water. What caused me to spill the water? What caused me to spill the water? Any ideas? My lack of balance. Gravity. Ken's foot. Right? I didn't see him. He was sneaky. He put it out. I didn't see it. Why I spilt the water was because there was water in the cup. If there was nothing in the cup, I wouldn't have spilt anything. This is an example to us of our reaction to what we're seeing in the world. Our cup or our mind and our heart is already filled with something. Maybe it's filled with hate. And so as things happen in the world around you, what spills out of you in reaction to what you're seeing? But anger and frustration and hatred. Maybe what's in the cup is love. And so what spills out is things of compassion, of understanding, of gratitude. The cause of what spills out of us is what's already in our minds. If we think about the flow of life, it's coming down from the Lord into our minds and out. The cause of the reactions that we have are not from outside of us. Because there is a war in Ukraine doesn't mean that that's the cause of the anger that's in me. The cause of the anger within me is the state of my mind that's reacting to what I'm seeing around me. So what spills out of us is what is already in us. And what we're seeing is what our mind is allowing us to see. And so we can look around at the tariffs at the wars, at the political things, at whatever it is, and allow what is already in our hearts and our minds to spill out. We read from Matthew 15. The Lord gives us an idea about this already. This is a very familiar passage. Jesus says, "Don't you see that whatever enters the mouth goes into the stomach and then out of the body? But the things that come out of a person's mouth come from his heart, and these defile them. For out of the heart comes evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, sexual immoralities, theft, false testimonies, and slander." The Lord is saying the things that are already in us are what come out of us, are our reactions to what is happening around us, to what our mind, the state of our mind then is reflected in the things that come out of us. We read further from the book Heaven and Hell, number 158. "By the alternations of delight and discomfort caused by a love for the sense of self, angels' perception of and sensitivity to what is good become more and more delicate." We experience the ups and the downs of life. We experience the delights and we experience the challenges of life because they are there to help us learn something about ourselves. If we were only in the delights of life, we wouldn't change, we wouldn't grow. But it is because our minds react negatively towards the world and we feel like we're attacked, or we're filled with fear, or we're filled with anger. It is in those moments that we have an opportunity to become more aware, to become aware of what is going on within me that is causing this reaction. The war doesn't cause a reaction within me. Someone else's words don't cause a reaction within me. The cause is already within me, is my mind. My mind causes me to react. And so we live in a world of effects, not in a world of causes. The things around us, because we are spiritual beings, the world around us shouldn't have an impact on our state of mind if we are in a spiritual state of mind, if we're working on becoming angels. When we're stuck in our worldly, in our lower level of our mind, then we're at the mercy of the world. Then we're in the ups and the downs of life and we're learning nothing. But if we're trying to become angels and we're going through these ups and downs of life and we get to the down part and we recognize, well, hang on, why am I reacting like this? What is it that I am seeing that is causing me to react like this? What is it within me that is flowing out? Then we're on our spiritual journey. Then we're walking with the Lord. And so those ups and downs of life are there to challenge us about what is going on within me. We read further from Heaven and Hell 158. The angels have gone on to say that the Lord does not produce these changes of their state, these fluctuations, since the Lord as the sun is always flowing in with warmth and light, that is, with love and wisdom. Rather, they themselves are the cause, since they love their sense of self, and this is constantly misleading them. The cause, their sense of love, their love for their sense of self, is constantly misleading them. That's true for us. Our love for our sense of self is constantly misleading us. Constantly misleading us to say the cause of my upset is out there. That I am powerless. the reality is the cause of our upset is within me. And if we're working with the Lord, we will be able to find some power from Him. So if we think about the cause of spilling the water, if I am upset by something, I can choose what's in my cup. Am I going to, if I get tripped by Ken, am I going to go, oh, sorry, that was an accident? Or am I going to get angry and frustrated with Ken? What is in me that is flowing out? Is it anger or is it love? We read further from the book New Jerusalem and its Heavenly Doctrines, number 164. When we look closely at ourselves, the things we find are our bad traits. So we're looking inwards. Where is this love of myself that is causing me to react in the negative, unhealthy ways? This is where all the harmful things we actually do come from. If we do not look for the bad traits in our thinking and our motivations, we cannot regret our faults. Right? We cannot change if we're not willing to look. If we're not willing to see that the cause is not outside of me, but the cause of the upset is within me. When we can look inwards and see that it is from my own motivations and thinking, then we can regret that. Then we can make a different choice. Since we then keep on thinking and wanting the same thing as we did before. So if we are tired of being at the mercy of these ups and downs of things in this world, of the war that's going on or the tariffs that are going on, if we're tired of being at the mercy and upset of what's going on in the world, the answer lies in me. Well, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to take the time that is needed to look at myself and see, well, what is the cause? Where is self-love getting in the way and causing me to react the way I do? So what power do we have? What power do we have then when it comes to the war in Ukraine? Well, we can look at the war in Ukraine and go, it's awful. It's absolutely awful what's happening in Ukraine. We can look at war and say it's a terrible, terrible thing. I do not want those people to go through war. I wish there was peace. What can I do about it? I can take that and I can bring it into me right now. I don't want to war with anyone. Can I bring peace to anyone? Can I bring peace to my relationships? Instead of warring with people about opinions and ideas and get upset with it, can I say I don't want war and bring that to who I am and to the relationships that I have? If we look at the tariffs and we think of the burden and the cost to people on both sides of the border and think, I don't want anyone to suffer. I don't want anyone to struggle more than they currently are. I don't want things to cost more than they currently are. We can bring that to who we are now. I don't want to add any burden onto anybody else. I don't want to add my criticism onto someone, or I don't want to add my opinion of how you should think onto anyone. I don't want to pay the price of anger and frustration. I don't want to pay the price of frustration anymore. We can look at the things around us and gauge our reaction to it, and then look at ourselves and say, where is this coming from? If I value freedom, how am I protecting freedom? If I value peace, how am I promoting peace? And so we can look around at the world and see our reaction, which represents the state of our current mind. If I am reacting with anger and frustration, that's the current state of my mind. Can I look at myself, dig down deeper and find out where is this coming from? Can I let go of the need to control, the need for things to go my way, and instead promote the things that are of heaven within me and within my relationships with others? If something is costing me, if what is spilling out of me is costing a relationship or is costing my peace of mind, then it's too expensive to pay. Then I should be willing to give that up. I'm not going to pay that tariff. I'm not going to give of what is negative out to the world. I'm going to give of what is heavenly within myself and outwards into the world. Amen.